Thank you, Lisa. The Trump administration begins this week. For many, a cloud hangs over his presidency because of Russia's meddling in the election process. Joining us now to talk about that and other issues is East Bay Congressman Eric Swalwell. Thank you for joining us this morning. You're a ranking member of the Intelligence Subcommittee, and you're calling for an independent commission to look into this Russian influence.
Good morning, Carolyn. Thanks for having me on. And I am. And it's because the public report that came out that said, one, Russia attacked our democracy. It was ordered by Vladimir Putin. They sought to help Donald Trump. So that concerns me. So it's really about the future, because they also found, our intelligence community, that Russia intends to do this again. So I think the best thing to secure future elections is to declare once and for all in an independent way who is responsible, but also make recommendations so it never happens again.
So that's the point, because people say it would not change the outcome of the election, but you're talking about looking forward.
This is about looking forward, and I don't want to suggest that any vote tallies were changed. That has not been alleged. There's no evidence of this. But certainly Russia, through paid social media trolls, through hacking of emails, and through their own television station in the United States, sought to help Donald Trump. And we should never, whether we're a Republican or a Democrat, let another country do this again. And if we do nothing, it's going to be a green light, not just for Russia, but for all of our foreign adversaries to try and influence future elections.
And this is a bipartisan call?
I'm calling for a bipartisan independent commission to forward and make recommendations for future elections.
Who would do the investigation?
So it would allow Congress to appoint outside experts, so foreign policy, armed services, national security, and elections experts, to look back with access to the classified information, declassify as much as possible, debunk a lot of the myths that President-elect Trump has put out there about what actually happened, and most importantly, as I said, depoliticize this so it's taken out of Congress and put into the hands of independent commissioners.
As you know, one of your fellow congressmen, John Lewis, has said that because of the Russian meddling, President-elect Trump is not a legitimate president. What are your thoughts on that?
I really admire John Lewis. He's sacrificed so much, including his body, for the rights of all people. He is an American hero. And I think what John Lewis is saying, he has raised very, very legitimate questions. Because, look, it's not disputed that Russia tried to influence our election. It's not disputed that they tried to influence it in favor of Donald Trump. It's also not disputed that Donald Trump will not release his taxes or any financial holdings, and it's not disputed that Donald Trump speaks favorably about Russia, wants to roll back sanctions against Russia, and wants to roll back our involvement in NATO. So when you put all of that together, John Lewis is right. There's a lot of questions about what did Russia do, was there collaboration with Donald Trump, and it's really now incumbent upon our law enforcement community to get to the bottom and answer those questions.
Well, you say it's not disputed, but it is among Trump supporters in terms of that.
Well, our intelligence community is not supposed to be politicized, and their finding, which was all 17 agencies found that Russia influenced the election. It's also, Donald Trump, by his own words, says he doesn't have to release his taxes. No one cares about it. And you can look at his own words. He admires Vladimir Putin. He said Putin was a stronger leader than President Obama. So anyone that talks like that was influenced and helped by Russia. I think the American people deserve to know, was the Commander-in-Chief in touch with the Russian government as they sought to influence our elections?
Lewis's words have set off a Twitter war with the president-elect, and it's also made a lot of other Congress people say they're not going to attend the inauguration. They're going to boycott. What about you?
Yeah, I really respect Congressman Lewis's decision to do this, and I think it's a personal choice. At this point, I intend to go, but I really understand and respect my colleagues who are choosing not to. And again, John Lewis, an American hero who has sacrificed so much, our president-elect, while John Lewis was marching in Alabama, was doing everything he could to avoid going to Vietnam. I mean, I think I'm with John Lewis on this one when it comes to what he's given to our country.
Why are you going to the inauguration?
You know, I think at this point right now, I want to see this transition of power, and I want to sit on that stage as a member of the House Democratic leadership team, and I want the president-elect to know that we are going to hold him accountable, that the influence that Russia had on our election and our questions about whether he was involved are not going away. But most importantly, all of these promises he's made to Americans about jobs he's going to deliver, we're going to hold him accountable and make sure that he delivers on that. And we're going to put forward a plan of our own to really make sure the American dream is within reach. And so, I plan to be there right now, but again, I understand why my colleagues don't want to go, and it's a personal choice.
One of his first acts, he said, could be repealing the Affordable Care Act. You're also in the forefront of trying to prevent that rollback. What are your thoughts about that? I mean, what can Democrats really do?
I voted against the effort on Friday that will take us a step closer to taking away health insurance for so many Americans. And this is really about making costs go up for people, reducing the care access that they'll have, and reducing the quality that they have. This is about real people. I think about breast cancer patients in my district who have come to me and said, because of the Affordable Care Act, I am not punished for a pre-existing condition or denied access to care. So we're going to fight every way we can.
But between now and Friday, what can you possibly do? I know you.
Yeah, we're going to have a rally today at 1 o'clock at City Hall in San Francisco, and it's really about telling the personal stories about who this helped. The Affordable Care Act is coverage for real people, and real people are affected. Yeah, I think about young people. I'm the youngest member from California, and I think about the millions of millennials who have their parents' coverage up until when they're 26, who are now going to be kicked off and be on their own. So this is about, do we leave people out on their own, or do we say that health care is a right, not a privilege?
What do you think we need to do in general, some steps that can be taken to heal the divide in this country, which is not going to end by any means with this inauguration?
We need to be and work as collaboratively as the people who sent us to Congress. I think of the people in the Bay Area, such an inventive, aspirational, optimistic bunch of folks who have created this great Bay Area economy, and they expect us back in Washington to work as closely together as they do. So I'm still working and reaching out to Republicans. I'm the son of 2 Republicans. My wife's family's from Indiana. They're all Republicans. So I think they're still
speaking to you.
They're still speaking to me. Some things are now off limits at Sunday night dinners. But I think collaboration has really powered the American economy, and collaboration is what we can do better in Congress. And we can first collaborate to protect people's health care, and I hope we can do that in the weeks ahead.
Well, I appreciate you coming here. I know tomorrow you're out there doing a day of service for Dr. King Day.
That's
and
right.
Also trying to bring some unity between Muslims and other members of your
tomorrow
district.
At 9:30 we'll be in Hayward, and this is actually a response. I got a letter from a father after the election of President-elect Trump, and he said, my 10-year-old Muslim boy asked me, can I still live in this country? And so we wanted to bring together people of all faiths, so we're going to do that tomorrow at 9:30 in Hayward at a peace rally, and make sure that people know we still come together and value diversity in this country.
All right. Thank you, Congressman. I appreciate you being here on this